to sort of find out, but I kind of knew straight away. When I hear, as bad as when I see like black women and like tweets, I'm like, you know it's gonna be like a colorism issue. You know it's gonna be about race because that's 9 times out of 10. And I was right. I'm like, I didn't even have to Google it, but
isn't that upsetting?
I'm like, I was right. I knew it was about skin color and stuff like that because it always is. Always. I knew straight away.
I mean. And welcome to CTMC's Girls Who Chat About podcast. I'm Zed.
And I'm Ali. We are 2 women of colour who tell stories.
We also talk about current events and issues facing people in today's society. Enjoy this episode. Alright, welcome to another episode of CTMC's podcast with Zed and Ali via voice call, because this is still the lockdown series.
Yeah, COVID-19 is still, is it running rampant? I don't know, because it's strange how numbers have gone down, yet social distancing is easing. So I'm just a bit like, eyebrows are raised with that. That's all I've got to say. Eyebrows are raised.
Suspicious minds.
Yeah, 100%.
Elvis Presley. My goodness. I mean, wow. Compared to previous episodes of the lockdown series that we've recorded so far, I feel like we have so much suddenly to talk about that's outside of what's going on right now. Like, of course, there's a pandemic and it's going to go down in history, but this has sparked other things. And Ali and I have noticed that, I'd say about probably 2-3 weeks ago, we were talking how we really wanted to do an episode on cancel culture. And it was in particular to the comments made by 2 influencers, one being Only Bells.
Only Bells, I think her real name is Bella or Isabel or something like that.
Yeah, and Nella Rose. How do we put it? Both, I actually don't follow either, whereas now, Ali might be able to explain more about Only Bells and the sitch, and then we can keep going.
So Only Bells situation, she is a YouTuber and Instagram influencer doing like fashion and makeup vlogs, that sort of thing. And some tweets were dug up.
No diggity.
I'm trying to remember what year it was. She was in secondary school. Can't remember the age.
I think it was around age 14, 15, probably year 9, 10.
Yeah, I think 12 and 16 years old, she'd made these tweets, and they were problematic. Some of the tweets were derogatory towards dark-skinned black people. The ones, to be honest, I actually had more issue with was the ones about rape. There were several jokes and comments about rape that I was just... They bothered me more than the colorism comments. And I'm saying this as a dark-skinned woman. Like, I was more bothered by the rape jokes from someone so young than the colorism ones. So these were dug up, and then obviously people were unhappy.
Yeah.
And then she made an apology video, which was, in my opinion, just trash. It was a rubbish apology video that removed all of the comments, so you couldn't comment on it, and you couldn't comment on her other videos because people were obviously not happy, and they were calling her out on it. And her response to that is to delete the apology video and then essentially remove herself from social media. I personally wasn't impressed with this at all, because I remember there's a YouTube we both watched. Is it Murad?
I know it's Murad something.
Murad something, but he's great, and he sort of basically explained it in about 5 minutes why what issue was an issue. It was very immature, and she just basically wasn't, she didn't want to be held accountable by her quote-unquote fans.
Didn't even look sorry, she didn't even look sorry, like, I'm just remembering.
She looked bored in the apology video. Like, she's like, I have to do this. Ugh.
Yeah.
And so she sort of removed herself from social media. And the fact that people couldn't comment or anything like that, I understand you sort of not wanting to put yourself in that situation for your mental health, etc. However, it's just sort of you weren't, your fans made you. It wasn't for your fan base and the people who support you, watch your videos, like your pictures, etc. You wouldn't be in the career you're in now. So to sort of just be like, fuck it, I'm not going to listen to anyone what they've got to say. You delete the apology video. Like, even if you think it's trash yourself, like, just keep it up there, because it just looks guilty that the fact that you deleted it. So that was her situation. She's really stuff, but I'm just feeling a way about her. I unsubscribed from YouTube. I won't be watching anymore for videos because I find it very fake now. But then going on to the Nella Rose situation, again, similar situation. I think she was like 12 or 13 or something, and some troublesome tweets were picked up again.
Just delete your Instagrams. I'm sorry, just like, especially if you want to be like an influencer, you want to get clout and you're building YouTube pages that has like, it's like the Maya Jama situation. Like, why just? Sorry, I'll let you continue, but I delete. Start a new account and then fly.
That's the thing, because
sorry,
because it's amazing. No, it's true. I don't get it. Just like, if you know, because even now to myself, I'm like, if I was to ever become famous, is there anything on social media that I am not happy to have brought to public knowledge? And if there is, let me go and, do you know what I mean?
Any skeletons in my closet that I need to dust off and dispose of now.
That is the thing. So the Nella Rose situation, again, very similar. However, she didn't make comments about rape and stuff. Her reason her tweets are problematic was because they're very disparaging towards people of a Somalian background.
Okay.
And I think, again, I can't remember if it was dark-skinned people again, but I know predominantly it was like taking the piss out of people from Somalian background, etc. And the reason I've actually forgiven her is because I read her apology. She was very honest about it, and she was very real. And it was just like, yeah, it's fine. If you guys want to insult me. Like, I deserve it. You know, I was stupid when I said this. The reason why I said these things was because I wasn't happy with who I was. And like, I think the reason why I'm just like, I can accept her apology and forgive her, because I actually relate so much. Because I don't believe anyone here is, innocent of not making certain comments or certain stereotypical jokes and stuff like that of people back, particularly, in that secondary school age where we're all insecure, we've all got our battles, and it just seems easier to make fun of people just to make yourself feel momentarily better because you're not happy within yourself. And that's pretty much what she said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, I understand that, and you're owning up to it, you're keeping your comments up, so you're letting people literally go and give their opinion. And it was just real. It just felt like it was a real apology. Like, whereas Only Bells just felt like, oh, I've got to do it because that's just what people do now. When you're in trouble, you have to give an apology. So I've actually continued to be subscribed to Nella Rose. I'm watching her videos. I love her content. Like, I don't agree with what she did, but I forgive her for what she did because I think she's done it maturely and honestly. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. It'd be how it is. Be how it is what it is.
It is what it is. It gets like that sometimes. There's too many buzzwords, too many good singers. And I just the Murad guy, it's Murad Morelli. And I just love his videos. Absolutely fantastic and clean and non-biased analyses. And yes, I completely agree with what you said, that Nella Rose's apology was way more real, way more authentic, and we were just a bit more mature and understanding of where she fucked up. Whereas with the Only Bells video, how many times has she talked about herself being a light-skinned?
I was legit just thinking that. I think she got 4 or 5 times she mentioned like she was light-skinned. I'm like, what's that got to do with anything?
Obsession.
I just want you ain't light-skinned, sis. Like, you're black, you're fairer than average. But I wouldn't go as far as, well, that's my personal opinion, but I wouldn't personally say she was light-skinned. And she kept on going on about it. And then what earned me, I wanted to make fun of people. I couldn't make fun of Somalians because I look Somali, and so I thought, who says
which
that?
is weird. Like, and that's just so. But it's also like she was trying to justify, like, hey, we've all said some dumb shit when we were like that age. We've all said like maybe problematic things or said off-key things. It's just the fact that now own up to it, apologize, and show that you've learned. And she didn't really show that.
No, she just hid. She basically just hid.
Yeah.
She just ran away and hid like a little girl, and then came back. And I'm annoyed when people see. I'm seeing people be like, "Oh, we missed you," blah blah blah. It's just like, no, like I don't. If she was earnest about stuff, I would be more forgiving. But I just find it fake. I just found it fake. She was trying to do damage control, and then it backfired. I mean, maybe her brand deals will be hurt and stuff, but they probably won't. To be honest, let's face it. So she pretty much got away with it to a degree. Yeah,
agreed. Totes agreed. And it's just, this is only just kind of scratching the surface of the issue at hand, like how normalized it was to be derogatory towards people of your own race or to other people of color, and that's definitely something that I think you and I could both touch upon, is the fact that how common colorism is in our cultures, mine being South Asian culture, yours coming from, you know, West African culture, but us being British, born and bred here, being around people similar to us, but actually that kind of commentary being so common, and still is, I'll be deadly honest, still is. Like, even my own grandmother that we live with now since my granddad passed, like, you know, would just would look at for example, Nadia Hussein, who won Bake Off, you know, see her on I love her to bits, and just she's absolutely gorgeous, so gorgeous. But I just remember my nanny first time seeing her, just being like, oh, she's pretty for a dark skin, and then just wouldn't believe that she was Bangladeshi like us. And I'm like, how can you say that? Like, I remember just telling her off, just like, with my limited Bengali, but just being like, no, like, just say she's pretty. Like, there's no need to be like, oh, that side comment being so normalized, and thinking, myself thinking, oh, that should have died out. But it's like, no, I'm guilty myself of planning to complain. When you just don't instantly complain. Lost my point. What was I? Complaining about me tanning because of not wanting to seem dark, and then only now kind of realizing how problematic that is, because like I'm brown. I'm proud to be brown. There's just different types of brown.
I think for me, slight difference is that's because I am West African. Like, I know you do get a mixture of pigmentation and stuff like that, but generally most West Africans are of a darker complexion. So I think being British, I think if I lived in America, my experience would be very different.
100%.
But I think growing up in the UK, South London, and just even going to the school I went to, like, there was, like, I think the issues of colorism came from not so my family, but I think definitely from my peers, and I definitely noticed that, like, the West African, not all of them, but there was a particular group of, like, black girls, it'd be a mixture of, like, Jamaican, Ghanaian, Nigerian, or, you know, like a mixture, and there was definitely, like, a sort of, what's the word for it, a bias. I feel like sort of that the lighter ones were definitely more like looked up to by the darker skinned girls. Particularly, I remember there was this one girl.
Okay, yes, I think I know.
I'm not sure if you remember her. I won't say names, but like she was mixed race, had that sort of long, like curly mixed race hair, green eyes.
I know, yeah.
And then they were really popular, and it's just sort of. That was like the aspirational, but again, I don't know. Like, I didn't really sort of hang out with people like that in general.
But they were the kind of loud and confident ones, and the ones that felt like they could tell other people about themselves. I completely know that. Yes, and just oh my goodness, and there was also like an obsession with like being mixed. And I guess that links to the colourist issue, isn't it? Because I remember there was a girl in the year below that loads of girls in our year kind of definitely hung out with and rated, and she was mixed race, one parent black origin and the other parent was Filipino. So she kind of looked like an A-Marie, Cassie type that was, you know, popular at the time. And I just remember her being quite a loud, confident person, because she got clout from people in the year above. And I remember just looking back, and it's clearly that was a thing generally, and I still think it exists a little bit now.
You hear comments about like people wanting like mixed babies for like the green eyes and the hair, and it's just like, so you want your babies to look a little bit black, but not black. But enough that it's like, oh, you're slightly different, but not so much like oh yeah, you look like you're this. And you know them ones. And then people who are like biracial, whatever, or like they might have like the tiniest bit of another ethnicity within them. Like, oh yeah, I'm black, but I'm mixed with this and this and this and this. Like, no one really cares. Like,
no one wants the list, man. Like,
you're 1/16th Filipino. It's just like, right, great for you, but I don't understand why that's a massive thing right now. Like,
I think it goes back to the idea of clout, isn't it? And wanting to be interesting and different and original, but then it's funny because at the same time there's a big push for black excellence and, you know, being proud of being black and just like not dwelling on those fetishizations. Definitely. Yeah, it's interesting, this colorism issue. I mean, I like looking at Murad's his YouTube videos. I only just found his Instagram. Man has abs.
He's cute, honestly. Like,
I didn't know.
He worked hard because the abs, but like
on the abs.
He like fitness wear, but like also with the videos as well. Like he something will come out and he will, you know, have recorded his response or his thoughts on it literally within like an hour or so. Like he's quick. And he's consistent as well, which I like.
Hello, yeah.
And what I like is he has a good amount of knowledge within like sort of black culture and like black experiences, which he wouldn't think he would as an Asian man.
Yeah.
Very, like,
I was just thinking,
far removed, but
we don't see many South Asian British men come forward. The only ones I know that are South Asian on TV a lot are comedians, and I've seen a couple swear about Brexit. I've seen a couple chat about pandemic. I've only seen a couple now talk about maybe Black Lives Matter and the movement that's happening right now in 2020, but never someone that's been able to articulate in so much detail the complexities of what's going on in like reality TV shows and you know the cancel culture. And I'm just like, wow, like that's quite refreshing for me, South Asian woman, and I don't actually have many South Asian.
Because it's not just one video, like it's many videos he'll do. And I'm like, okay, cool, like man's woke, like he does get it, he's trying to get it, he's trying to understand.
Man is woke and has a nice balcony, yeah.
He does, like views lip.
I don't have that view, but yeah, good old rough end of South London. But yeah, I mean, do we think cancel culture actually works?
I think it depends on the person and what they've done. I think if they've done something really heinous, like for example something like sex crime related, look at R. Kelly, then yes, because he's still, although he hasn't been prosecuted, his life is never going to be the same again. He will never work properly again. He will never be at that peak that he was. Literally everyone will have to die out for him to potentially come back, but he's never going to come back to be that R. Kelly. That's the thing. But then when you think of smaller people who are smaller and stuff like that, it's just probably not, because not enough people know about them for there to be like a massive amount of outrage.
That's
so
the thing.
They'll go quiet for a bit and they'll come back bigger. That's what I feel anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my opinion.
No, I think you're right, because I think the only reason I didn't follow Only Bells, I didn't follow Nella Rose. I've heard their names pop up, but it's only because I follow big accounts that kind of share, like big meme accounts that do share like current events, like I'm Just Bay, Hackney's Finest. Like they started posting so like on all the. I go on Twitter, but not that much, mainly to promote CTMC. But it was only because of those meme pages that I was aware of the council like calling for them to be cancelled because of their colorism tweets and their rape tweets and just all of that. And even then they wouldn't share the whole story, so then to find someone like Murad Morelli and other people, I'm just like, oh, or is it Morali? Sorry, I'm saying no, I don't get it wrong.
Find out, but I kind of knew straight away when I hear, as bad as when I see like black women and like tweets, I'm like, you know it's gonna be like a colorism issue, you know it's gonna be about race, because that's 9 times out of 10, and I was right. I'm like, I didn't even have to Google it, but
isn't that upsetting?
I'm like, I was right. I knew it was about skin colour and stuff like that, because it always is, always. I knew straight away.
I mean, ever since my Jama, like, it's like, okay. And again, sis, delete your tweets. Like, you were for a very long time associated with very, you know, dark-skinned, prolific? Where's my mom? Like, very famous dark-skinned Stormzy, like, from, like, that a lot of people related to, like, and her herself being of mixed heritage, I guess. It's disappointing that sis didn't delete this.
She's got a complex herself, because she used to lie about her background.
Yeah, I did hear
she
it quite
she
bad.
was Jamaican and Swedish. She used to lie about the Somalian part of her background.
That's peak.
Which I've always found, like, I've never understood why there is such a bias towards Somalia. I've never gotten it, but I'm like, why though? Like, why does people have something to say about Somalian people? don't get it.
I think just in every kind of race, there's like a subgroup there's always like a hierarchy, and there's always like a feeling of needing to feel superior than others. And in South Asian culture, for example, I remember me and my housemate, who is Tamil, we saw a meme, and it was literally just like, oh yeah, like Bengalis and Tamils are like the bottom of the Asian hierarchy, and we were just like, right, that's both of us in one tweet. That's both of us just offended.
Do you think that's because with that with people with that background, 9 times out of 10, I might be wrong, maybe the complexion wise they tend to be darker skinned, just from my experience?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I definitely think that.
That's part of it.
Yeah, I do think it's that. I definitely do think it's that, because I remember just being like, like, rude. That's rude. Like, there's problematic people in every race, thank you very much. And anyone who thinks they're so elitist and thinks they're better than other people, they're not dealing with the issues of our culture, and especially in South Asian culture. Like, growing up, there is so much colorism, there's so much negative talk, there's so many issues, and it's sad because you know, there's so many like nice things about Somalian culture and Sri Lankan culture. Like recently, the Netflix show Never Have I Ever has a Tamil girl in America. It's huge. I mean, people are debating it, and for representation. Like, for example, me as a South Asian British person who's always kind of been in the middle and not strongly one way or the other, I liked it, but even though it was obvious it was falling into obvious tropes of American teen dramas, whereas our close friend of a Tamil background, she was like, nope, don't like it. She was very clear. She was just like, this representation is poor of South Asian people, and I was just like, oh shit.
I need to watch this, because I mean, for example, what are your thoughts on the film Bend It Like Beckham? That came out time ago.
I love that film.
But I'm thinking about it, I'm like, did that not just like sort of adhere to the stereotypes British people have of
100%. I mean,
at the time I loved it, but like now as an adult I'm like,
It's funny because that one's a soft one in my heart. Like, you can come for any other film. You can come for East is East, you can come for, you know, all sorts. But
East
is East is
like, you've got angry dads and like all that sort of stuff. It's just sort of
yeah.
I mean, I like Bend It Like Beckham, but I think as an adult, and particularly in how things are now,
yeah,
you can't sort of help. Like, is that problematic at all? Like, in TV shows and like films and stuff.
It's upsetting, and I think if you don't want to even have those conversations, it just feels like, oh, everything, there's an issue with everything now. But of course, there was. You're right there. Oh. Yeah, there was always issues. There's always going to be issues in terms of representation. And looking at Bend It Like Beckham, like, you could just see the main girl wanting to go off into a career in football. Is that a metaphor for, you know, the white saviour complex because she falls for the Irishman at the end? And it's just like, is that saving her?
It wasn't even that lit. I was like, really, because like his character was actually so boring. Like,
oh no, but look at his face though.
You'd be better off with your friends, you know?
No.
You were lesbian,
Are you kidding me? He's gorgeous. The friend would have looked after her better, of course. But the film is such an extreme representation. I think it's brilliant, and it's directed by an Indian with Gurinder Chadha. Is it Gurinder Chadha? That directs it, and she's I think that's a good film. But of course, looking back, just like the stereotypes perpetuated are like, well, half of them are true, half are extreme. But then there's this whole there's the whole bit where her friends are asking her, because she's of a Sikh faith, and they were asking her like, oh, so, you know, you can't be with a white man. She's like, no. And, you know, Muslims, and I was talking to Tanya about the problematic part of that, and how it is even in Never Have I Ever, there's still a negative representation of Muslims. So fair to say that there's progression, but there's always going to be someone marginalized or someone not represented well. So yeah, very stressful. Yeah. So
I agree. Sorry.
No, go.
No, but I was gonna say that you also, your concern was the representation of Muslims. I think, I agree. I think people are still just feel aware about Islam and stuff like that, and it's probably easier, particularly with an American audience, to sort of be like, oh yeah, no Muslims, all this sort of stuff. And I'm trying to think of actually like any sort of shows that have had like a have had a Asian Muslim family as like the protagonist. And there's a couple I can think of, but you compare it to like other shows,
it's different.
Not that many.
It's different. Like, yeah, I'm trying to even just think. Like,
I know there's like, is it the Khans on BBC?
Citizen Khan. Ha.
Yeah.
Season 1's trash. Everything else is better. It gets better, but it's not Goodness Gracious Me. Like, honestly, if you've never watched Goodness Gracious Me, I'd like
that's timeless.
So funny, and it just flips.
Even like you see like a clip now, you still laugh because it's just
exactly. It's still relevant. Just like flipping the script and like, you know, a whole bunch of Indians going to an English restaurant. They're like, I want the blandest thing on the menu. And they're just like, oh, isn't it? Exactly, like egg and chips. Oh, and then they're just like, no, we still need the chili. Oh, it's just funny. Just the dad that's just like, everything's like, oh, Indian, Mona Lisa Indian. I think that's just definitely my dad. Like,
we've made fun of ourselves, so we can make fun of other things because we're mocking ourselves at the same time, which is sort of humour that I like. I like that sort of like, take the piss out of yourself, but then you laughed at me, I'm gonna laugh at you. It's like, that's the sort of it's all or nothing.
All or nothing. It's a bit petty the more I think about.
Just go in and be like, nah. But it's interesting. I do need to watch Never Have I Ever, but I remember I saw it and I sent it to you because like I feel there hasn't been a show with a South Asian female as the main lead. This would be of interest to you.
Loved it.
Sort of see people like yourself on TV.
And it's just the relatability of the fact that she wasn't the fair-skinned Bollywood-looking like type that like Frida Pinto, flipping gorgeous, but no one looks like Frida Pinto. Like, flip it, like no one has that jawline. Please, I wish. So. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like, but that can also lead to the colorism thing. I'm just thinking about it. Like, although I didn't experience it at home, I definitely sort of did feel a way about my skin because of like certain shows that I'll be watching and magazines and stuff like that, and what was like the ideal sort of beauty back then. And it's just like it was never some people who looked like myself. That's what I was thinking about it.
Well, growing up, we were really into like indie music and rock music, and even that, there wasn't many people of colour. Like,
there wasn't any, not even men. There was literally no one.
Definitely not when we were in secondary school. Like, and if there was, they were seen as trying to be white. So there was a bit of shaming in there, and it's just like, I just want to listen to the song. Like,
but even like the artists though. And their music videos, there's no diversity, not really.
No, that's the thing. It's only really recently I'm seeing the effort for that. And I don't agree, but I can see why someone would just be like, oh, they're overcompensating, they're doing too much, because there's probably just suddenly a random push that feels random to people
like,
that don't relate.
I agree. I don't shove diversity in when it's like just for the sake of it, because you want to tick a box. Like, for example, I love watching period shows and stuff like that, and I watch it knowing there isn't going to be, you know, Jimmy the Jamaican like there, because it's just it's a show.
Jimmy the Jamaican.
The show was set in like 1600. I don't know. Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna.
If they were there, they're not going to get featured on the show. they're not going to be written in. Yeah.
That's the thing. Don't force it for the sake of it.
That's true. It's definitely true, and I think it's a good topic to kind of. We'll probably touch back on. I mean, I mentioned it before, and I think our next episode is really going to delve into it much further. But we have to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, like, and the protests, not just in America but internationally, sparked from the deaths of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and most especially George Floyd's death. Because even I myself saw the horrible footage of George Floyd's neck being kneeled on for 8 minutes. I actually shared it to the CTMC story, and after like a minute I was like, because I was still haunted by it, and I was like, no, let me take it down, because let's not normalize seeing that. But of course it was all over the timeline.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like for me, although I'm aware of other cases, I don't like seeing the footage because it's, who wants to see footage like that? It's not nice.
Yeah.
But this one I did see it, and it literally, even I'm still haunted by it because it's just horrible. And I think what gets me is the fact that like he didn't need to die. There were so many ways it could have ended. He didn't need to die, and I think it's just that like he could have been saved by either a member of the. I'm actually not saying member of the public, because to be honest, with police over there, I don't judge anyone in the public who didn't intervene, because
it's easy for us to say to intervene, but if like they've got guns or
I wouldn't, because the guy's got if the guy's happy to have his knee on someone's neck, he would not think twice about getting his gun out and be like, I was attacked, blah blah blah.
Exactly.
That's what he would say. I'm not going to judge any member of the public. However, did you hear the poor woman who recorded the video?
Yeah.
She's having to have therapy because obviously seeing such a horrible thing, but also due to the bullying she's been getting online for not intervening. And I'm just like,
no.
What would you have done in that situation? Like, they know the possible consequence. And sorry, it's not a member of the public's job to intervene. It's the 3 other police officers who just stood by and did nothing.
That's the thing. I mean, of course, she wasn't the only one that was there as well. And at the same time, it's so easy to blame someone. But when you're in that situation, so many things are going through your mind. Her point of protest was... You're right there.
Sorry. Her point of protest was recording and distributing
exactly.
it. But if she hadn't recorded it, we wouldn't have known.
No.
And you've heard the shit they're trying to put in the autopsy, saying, he had intoxicants in him and that's what caused the heart attack. And that's
yes,
so
and
don't even try it.
Previous medical ailments, and then only when they did a private autopsy, it was exposed to be.
Yeah,
it was 2. Asphyxiation.
He was talking. He was fine. 2 tooths got a knee on his neck, and that's what caused his day.
It's so, because he was talking. He was begging. He was saying, "I can't breathe." Reminiscent of.
And lucid. And I'm sorry, what excuse is there to, even when he fell unconscious, why was the guy's knee still there? He was handcuffed on the floor. Tell me what threat he currently posed.
And it's so reminiscent of the footage of Eric Garner and him saying, I can't breathe, and it meaning nothing. Like, no.
Mate, Orange is the New Black, per se. That was years ago that came out.
Don't. I mean, spoilers, but of course you should have watched by now. There's a character that is imprisoned even just for, was it distribution of weed? And she had such a harsh sentence due to her race, etc. And just the prejudice that she faced. And the way she died, that haunted me. And it's a character, but that resonated with so many people because it happens. The fact that she couldn't, I cried.
It's a horrible way to go. And I think there's so many layers as to why it's so sad. It's sad because it didn't need to end that way. It's sad because he died over a fraudulent $20 bill. I remember I saw this thing from this he's Irish comedian. I can't remember his name. He does Mock the Week.
Oh, Dara O'Brien. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said, I once handed a shopkeeper a fraudulent bill. All they did was hand it back to me and I left the shop.
And it's a funny story. Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, cool.
Well, it turns out... Sorry.
It wasn't, also he didn't
Yeah.
It wasn't fraudulent. It was fraudulent. Which is even worse. It's like basically he died for nothing. Like, man died in a horrible way for legit nothing.
And leaving behind family, his daughter, like,
and his family and stuff. They're gonna see that footage. That's the thing. Like, there's no dignity to it. That dignity doesn't. You can't sort of be like, he died peacefully. You know he didn't die peacefully. He died horribly. And it's just knowing that that person you loved's last moment was so horrible.
And everyone's seen it. There's no kind of dignity and privacy or right. There's no way to kind of respect him in passing. Of course, what sparked is a movement, and I do think it's been definitely...
There has been some good from it.
There has been good, yeah.
There has been something.
And it's emphasised because everyone's been in lockdown, everyone's frustrated and lonely and tired, and you know, a number of things were building up anyway. Dissatisfaction with the government, and the look. You know, we're hearing increasing statistics of people of, you know, black origin, of ethnic minority origin, more likely to die from COVID, and then suddenly you're still seeing the same shit of police using brutal force to kill people. And it's like, what? We're fighting a pandemic. We're meant to be all going through this, but you're saying that on top of all of this now, some people are still like have to now think about
it's just that, like, if
that.
he had shot him, it was wrong. Like, it's wrong. But if he had shot him, I would not get it more, but I'd sort of be like, okay, shooting is quick. But the fact you literally had him under you for nearly 10 minutes. But why?
And people are begging you.
Think,
people are begging you to take this off.
Are you that fucking thick that you can't? You think, let me compromise someone's airway. What could possibly go wrong? Like, he didn't. He meant to kill him. Like, it was a power. Like, you look at the officer's face. Like, literally.
No regret, no remorse.
You just want to punch it so bad. Like,
It's such a punchable face.
Yeah, it's power gone to their head. And they're just like, I can do what I want. I'm authority. No one's going to question me. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they recorded, they thought they could get away with it. I'm glad he was arrested. I'm glad the other three were arrested.
I'm glad his wife's divorcing him.
Yeah, but people are saying that she's divorcing him to protect their assets.
Oh, no, but...
Because I think if she divorces him, something like assets and money, there's a financial thing towards it as well.
Okay, I don't really will.
I mean, I don't know, but, like, to me, to be honest, you can't be married for... You were married for him for 10 years. You're telling me you were ignorant to stuff like that.
His
like,
opinions,
if you're married to a bigot, that's going to come out within 10 years. Sorry.
Mate, it's going to come out in the first 10 minutes. Like, I'm not going to lie. I can tell when I have certain conversations with certain people about Brexit, about UKIP, about Black Lives Matter, definitely recently. I'm seeing opinions come out that I never thought people had. Or I'm seeing opinions and I'm thinking... Okay, I've taken for granted that people agree with me on certain issues. No. So if someone's your romantic partner, you come on.
Yeah,
you know,
10 years.
Yeah.
So, she... And I think the thing is, this wasn't the first sort of thing he's done. I think there's been other situations as well, including like another death under, in his hands.
Wow.
So he's not innocent. Like, it's just he got caught at this time. Those recordings, those witnesses this time. Yeah. That's what it is.
How sad.
So, but the positive is there's been a movement, and I think it's bigger than the last civil rights movement, and there is mention of change being implemented. Whether or not we see it, but there is talks happening now, which weren't happening a year ago.
100%.
It's unfortunate, but people have a right to be angry because what the actual fuck?
Fucking hell. I do think the pandemic has meant that more people are seeing this and fighting for it because, like, this has been going on for a long time and the conversations have been had. There have been protests before, but this has gained so much traction, and I think it's because everyone's at home, no one's going to work or school. Like, people, everyone's saw that, and I think it's global.
Even countries that I'm actually wouldn't say or do anything, they are like Berlin. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually kind of surprised Berlin got involved. Like, you know what I mean, stuff like that. It's just so
Japan. Japan.
I'm not gonna lie as well. I was surprised by that.
So much surprise. Japan. I mean, I saw some pictures in Bangladesh in the city centre, capital. I saw like a protest, and I was like, wow. And there's a lot of issues against like black people, I think, in South Asian culture, definitely from 100%. The older generation, but I do think it drips down.
That's the thing. That's what a lot of this issue of it. It's like it drips down. It's not like it's a new thing. It's dripped down from generation to generation to generation. No one wakes up thinking a certain way or believing a certain thing. It's little microaggressions, comments, stuff like that.
100%. 100%. I mean, we could go on a long time. We've definitely got so many experiences, but I think it'll definitely link nicely to our next episode, where we will I think talk to a number of people giving their experiences and their opinions on the Black Lives Matter movement, because this is an iconic part of history, and for a very long time, we coasted, and suddenly everything's happened at the same time. And so we're gonna come out completely different. I know I'm coming out of this completely different, not even because of politically, but I'm gonna
come out differently. People that I've left behind, as well as people that, do you mean, it's like, it's not gonna be the same when this is all back to normal. Well, quote unquote normal. When things go back to how, I can't even say that, because they won't be. Really.
There won't be a normal. It's just getting back to feeling like normality.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, yeah. God. So many things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, before we leave, we definitely need to recommend any kind of texts we've come across, or anything you recommend that's come up recently. For me, the book that I started reading a while ago, didn't finish, and I've come back to, got it on my Kindle app, is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. It is a strong book. It is a popular book. People are reading it again. And there is especially a chapter on white privilege that I think is just, it really breaks it down. And I'm pretty sure they've got a super podcast as well that I'm going to try tune into. So that's my recommendation. I can't think of another one. But yeah, that's mine.
For me, it's such a good trick. I've not really thought about, because to be honest, I'm not really...
I mean, it could be anything.
New. I mean, I could recommend Morelli. Is that his name?
Morelli, yeah.
Morelli on YouTube. I feel like he talks a lot about interesting issues. And yeah, he just gets it. That's the thing. He literally just gets it. That's all I can say. So I'd recommend him. Yeah.
I think that's it, Ellie.
Yeah, sounds
good.
Did it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And of course, like, share, subscribe, follow, any other words that people use.
Subscribe, follow, like, all that jazz.
I'm pretty sure you just said it in a different order. please follow, please. But sharing as well. Like, definitely share, DM us, email us. Like, everything's, all the details are under, like, this episode on our website, on our Instagram. But yeah, thank you. And of course, we will return to this topic. But for now, I think that ends our first chat about all of this drama.
All of it. 2020's nonsense, basically.
Yeah, fucking hell, yeah. Alright. Okay. And on that note, fuck Trump.
I use my time. Fuck you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to our podcast.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CTMC brand, and go to our website and superblog www.can'ttouchmycrown.com. And remember, we're on SoundCloud and Spotify.